Hi, my name is Nathan and welcome to my YouTube channel, Your Come Up, where on Your Come Up, we talk about all topics to help you come up. Today, we're going to talk about two of the dumbest things in life I did that actually paid off. So if this is your first time here, consider subscribing. No one is perfect in this world. Every person has flaws in one way or another, which directly affects the decisions he or she makes. Talking about me personally, I personally made bad decisions that I later regretted, but it turned out for the positive. But sometimes the opposite happens. The decisions we think are better for us, while the ones we actually regret after making becomes helpful to us later. You may agree with me or not, but it is the reality. In this video, I'll tell you two of the dumbest things I did in life that actually pay off. In 2010, I was working at Hertz Rental Car. It was at a satellite location at a European car dealership. Due to the clientele dropping off their luxury cars for service, we normally kept a high-end fleet there. I say normally because sometimes stuff happens. A really cute meteorologist came up and dropped off her audience. She needed to rent a car. Hey, I was younger, about maybe 30 pounds more sexier at the time. So yeah, I had the courage to just ask her out, just flirt with her a little bit, ask her out. She's no longer the meteorologist in the local news station here. So she said yes. And what did I do? I drove a 1998 Honda Accord at the time. I wanted to impress her. You know, I was a young 22, 23-year-old, whatever. Instead of taking my personal car, I took an Infiniti G37 from the Hertz fleet. Stupid thing, right? I picked her up in that car. We went to a Mexican restaurant out here called Armando's and had a good time. Margaritas, chips, and salsa. By the way, that place is known for their margaritas. If you guys are ever in the Palm Springs area, check out Armando's. They're not paying me for that. And drove her back, took her back. Guess what happened? No harm, no foul. The date was the date, right? It turns out that night the dealership had a break-in. Hertz thought their fleet was compromised, so they checked out the security footage and they saw my dumbass driving off the lot with the car. There was nothing I could do. I was caught straight up in 4K. It was at the point where my boss asked me, Nate, is that you? I couldn't admit it. Yeah, it was me. It was one of those, I don't have my glasses on. In other words, that cost me my job and that was axed. So how did that pay off? Well, hear me out. I was living with a roommate at the time nearby. I was looking for work. He was in Romania. I was looking for work and I didn't have much money saved. I only had about 1 month of reserves saved. I mean, I was working at Hertz, come on. And I was 22. Friday, Saturday nights were more priority to me than a financial security. That's changed now. He came back from Romania and I just told him, hey, I don't have enough to afford to stay here. I got to move out. I lost my job. That's what happened. I did something stupid. Told him the truth. Turns out his family's moving company needed help. Not to move or hump boxes, they needed a salesperson, and in my background is sales, so I took the job. It actually paid more money. Eventually, I parlayed that into a general manager position at a nearby competitor. The person who's watching, Santa Claus, thank you for giving me that chance. And it's not to say I'm advocating doing dumb stuff. I did have to ask for forgiveness on that. I paid the price for that. I really thought, I humbled myself. I gotta move out. I can't afford this. I gotta move back home with my parents and tell them what I did. But I told him the truth. He accepted it. He gave me a chance. And from that point on, I did the best I could with him. And I did not take that work for granted. People noticed that I did good work, made connections with the right people, and turned that into another job. There was a lot more to that story, but that's how it benefited me, where I was able to move up, meet new people, acquire new skills, and did good work that way. Before I go into the second dumbest thing I did in life that turned out to be a benefit, I'd like to thank today's sponsors. I'd like to thank Yapix Web Design and Graphics for sponsoring this video. And I'd also like to thank Rated Comics for allowing me to film in their comic book store location. The other dumb stuff I did was I got married in Vegas after a $390 bar tab at the Cosmopolitan Hotel. This girl I was dating for a month. She invited me to go to a wedding in Vegas. Well, it ended up, we got eloped at Vegas after the Cosmopolitan bar. I wrote about that in my books, How to Find You and to Come Up. Link in description, by the way, for those books and others. With that marriage, it was induced by a lot of liquid courage, or stupidity, if you want to call it that. But you know what? 2 beautiful children came out of it. Her and him. Even though I call him my little Mowgli mofo, I still love them. They were not mistakes. Even though the marriage was questionable, but these two were a gift from God to me. And the reason why I say that is because when I married my ex-wife at that time, I discovered that writing was my gift, my God-given gift, but I didn't do anything with it. And because of that marriage, I put that on the back burner and put our marriage first and put her first. I resented her for that, but even though there were some things she did questionably, which I do talk about in my books, that I later had to learn and I had to balance that, those two kids helped me get back on purpose, because everything I do is for them, in memory of them, and I want to make sure I leave a legacy and set a good example for them. So if it weren't for those two gifts from God, I don't know if I'll be sharing this exact story, and I don't know if I'll be doing what I'm doing now up until this point. And they definitely helped me get closer to God. And in addition, I had a God-given purpose, so now I know those two have a God-given purpose in life that they will later discover. I believe one of their purpose was for me to get back into writing, and that got me to the core, and I will not be shaken for that. Getting married after 30 days was definitely a lesson learned on my part, but also these kids were a blessing as well to me in my life. So here's a lesson. The lesson is not to go to Vegas and do dumb stuff. I encourage you guys to do, well, maybe not so much dumb stuff, but just live life as long as it doesn't contradict the Bible, and as long as you can go to bed at night comfortable with how you're living. We all make mistakes. I had to pay for those mistakes and make the most of it. And those mistakes, if you decide to find the lesson with it, is one of life's greatest gifts. Conflict is a part of life. Mistakes are a part of life. It cannot be avoided, but it can be resolved, transformed, and experienced as a gift from life to become deeper and wiser individuals. I'm going to end it with a scripture from Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. However you look at it, there is a lesson here for your come up, because we all have to do trial and error. I believe life is, the salt of life is experiencing some things, trying some things. Sometimes you just find your purpose by default through the dumb stuff you did. And that is, in my opinion, one of the salts in life. However you look at it, there's lessons to be learned for your come up. If you're enjoying the content that I'm throwing up, you know what to do. Here on Your Come Up, I talk about all topics to help you come up: business, finance, personal, spiritual, and physical. With that being said, thanks again for watching. Until next time.